What up, y'all? I'm back. Yo, I had to do this one. Dr. Umar is a prime, perfect example on. He proves everything that I've been saying to you guys is 100%, 1,000% true when it comes to the dynamic between a father and his children and what requires a man to be a deadbeat or non-existent in his kids' lives. Now, I was trying to find the original video because I didn't want to, do a reaction from off of what Dee Dee got, but I can't find this video. So shout out to Dee Dee because she got this video, and so I'm going to do a reaction from off of her, the video that she found. But this dude is a clown. So I'm gonna let the video play, and I'm gonna pause it throughout, throughout him talking, so I can give you my reactions and my commentary, and also address and prove to you what I've been saying for the longest time, ever since I had this channel, in regards to when it comes to black men, people who are about something in life and has shit going on for themselves, and them choosing to be a deadbeat or have no choice to make kids because they realize where they are at that point in time in their life, and realize that they don't really have nothing to offer to this world except for giving a woman a baby. But let's let this footage play, and I'm going to give my commentary throughout as it relates to him, and of course the difference, because this is just insane. I can't believe I can't believe no matter what he says, he's going to have women still cape for this dude, because women, well, especially black women, are so desperate for black male validation and love. But let's go ahead, let's let this play.
We have to respect the sacredness of the African woman's vagina. No, I'm gonna go real rap. We must respect the sanctity and the sacredness and the divinity of the black woman's vagina. We must do that. Because if I look back, the situation I'm going through right now, brothers, I'm talking to my unapologetically African anti-snow bunny males right now. I'm talking to my unapologetically African anti-snow bunny males. The situation I'm going through right now is because at that time, 14 years ago and 23 years ago, I did not have the respect for the sacredness of the black woman's vagina like I should have. And the universe punished me for it. I'm being honest right now, family. Black queens, are you with me? I can admit to the black woman right here, right now in Los Angeles, the reason I'm going through what I'm going through is 14 years ago and 24 years ago, I didn't have the level of respect for the black woman's vagina that I have now.
So basically, he's referring to the fact that his 22-year-old daughter is talking about, saying he's a deadbeat, and then he has another daughter who's allegedly 13 or 14. And he's saying he didn't have respect for the black woman's vajayjay, and so he knocked the mothers up, and now what? You know what I mean? And it's okay. And if that is the case, okay, cool. What does that have to do with being in your daughter's lives? That was years and years ago. Like, at this point, the only thing that matters is having a relationship with your children. Because from what his daughter is saying, that was non-existent. So how is it payback now? You knew what you were doing, and a lot of people know what they're doing, and they realize, okay, now you realize this was a mistake, but the damage has been done. You know what I'm saying? So now your children are there. How about just mend the relationship with the kids and stop talking about it on social media? That's my take on it. But let's listen to some more of what he's saying, child.
So absolutely, exactly. And Dee Dee is absolutely right. Now, I don't know what Dr. Umar's upbringing was. I don't know if he grew up in a 2-parent household, a 1-parent household, or what have you. What I do know is this, and what I've been selling, he proves exactly what I've been saying is true. What I do know is this: your relationship with your kids is only going to be as strong as the bond that you had with that child's mother. Now, Dr. Umar, you make and talk this to the younger men and younger women who are younger than you. But me and you around the same age, and you know I'm not going for that shit, because we know what it is. So he said 14 and 22 years ago. Of course, those are the ages of his two daughters. Now, 14 years ago, it seemed like that's right around the time, like right before he got on YouTube but starting to get some money. And here's what I gather, and this is what I've been saying. When you, as a man, when you're out there recklessly making kids, it's usually because you don't really come from shit. You don't really see a future in yourself, and you're not really getting no money. Because if you are really out there shaking and moving in the streets, or have a career, or pretty much, you're getting money, and you're making whatever your career is, and you're making like good amounts of money, you're not going to recklessly dump and nut into a chick with the possibility of, you getting caught up with the court system, her putting you on child support, and you forking over half of your paycheck or half of your salary every week, bi-weekly, or however you get paid. No man in his right mind, his right, smart, intelligent mind that Dr. Umar tries to portray is going to recklessly do that. Who's doing that, dog? I mean, besides these rich ass entertainers, NBA players, we're going to exclude the rich, entertainment athletes, because they just be doing dumb shit. I'm speaking on the average everyday man, the average everyday person. You're not going to recklessly just make kids with women unless you already looked at your life from that point and say, you know what? I don't really have anything to offer. I'm not really making no money. I don't really come from nothing. You know what I'm saying? I come from a single mama. Man, the only thing I really have to offer to this world and to offer to this chick that I'm messing with is to give her a kid. That's the only reason. That's the only reason why deadbeats come about, because you have already examined your life from that point and say, man, look, I ain't shit, and I ain't gonna be shit. So the only thing I could do, especially depending on the situation that you were in, I don't know if you did it because you were broke, homeless, and you needed a place to stay, so you gave a woman a kid so to keep some type of shelter over your head. But that's 9 times out of 10 usually the reason that a man, if he ain't shit, broke as fuck, gives a woman a baby. But let's let this continue, because I got more to expound on what he's going to say.
So I know that this is karma. This is karma. Even though I was done wrong, I could have never been done wrong if I didn't do wrong. Let me say it again.
Yeah, that only makes sense. What do you mean if you was done wrong? You have the control on, you have 100% absolute control on the kids that you made. What are you talking about? You was done wrong. You can't be done wrong if you, like you said, you can't be done wrong if you didn't do wrong.
If I would have made better decisions, black men, young kings, listen to me, young kings. Listen to me, young kings. I don't want you to go through what I'm going through.
Yeah, address the young kings, because like I said, the people our age, your age, and older than you, we not listening to. We already know this is bullshit because we know what time it is. But talk your bullshit, Dr. Umar, so I can go ahead and G-check you real quick.
I don't want you in a situation where your babies are kept from you because you didn't wife out. I don't want that. So you must respect the sacredness of your Shango stick. I'm not going to respond.
Nigga, what? Nigga, what? Oh my God. I swear these Hotep niggas is some clowns, bro. What? Didi cracking up.
Lord have mercy, Jesus, Lord, take the wheel. Lord, so you must guard the sacredness of your Shango stick. Yes, don't be throwing that Shango stick in things that you don't really want to marry or acknowledge if there's a baby that arises. Keep that Shango stick close in so you will not have to go through what Dr. Umar is going through right now. I'm just saying, fellas, y'all better pay attention. It's not like you just, so you knock some women up and you didn't want to marry them. Children came out of it, and now your children are damn near grown, and now they're talking about you not being a part of their lives. So that's the past. In this situation, the only way to make up for it is to just talk to your children. I don't understand. You know, it's not like the kids are little. It's not like this is, you just had 2 kids 2, 3, 4 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And they're little. These kids are them. One is grown and the other one is a teenager from what we know of. After all these years, now he's saying this. And I'm betting that if his daughter would have never came out with the story, we would not be hearing any of this. It would be Pan-Africanism as usual. We would not be hearing any of this about none of this. So now that the children are just about grown, he can reach out and talk to him himself if he want to develop a relationship with him. It has nothing to do with the mothers at this point. And once you've done that and you try, because now it's beyond keeping the kids away from you, because you can talk to them yourself. Now, if they don't want a relationship with you and they're running from it, that's a whole nother story. But from the 22-year-old daughter who's speaking out, she said she was trying to reach out to him and she wanted to talk to him and she wanted to get to know her siblings. So I don't know what the issues are. I really don't, child. Let's continue.
Because like I said, the relationship that you have with your kids is only going to be as strong as the bond that you have with those kids' mothers. So he has 2 different daughters by 2 different women. Back during those times, I don't know what he was going through, but like I said, I can pretty much assume that he was broke as fuck, traveling from pillar to post, and living with those women. Because I mean, I don't just, for the life of me, because Dr. Umar, you can't fool me, bro. We are both college educated men. Like I said, I don't know your background. I don't know if you came from something, but I come from something. I come from a 2-parent household who I couldn't make those same mistakes because I would have my father to answer to. I would have my mother to answer to. My mom is married to my father my whole life. I got 1 brother. No outside siblings, just, you know what I'm saying? We come from a tight-knit, close family. And I couldn't fathom the thought of impregnating a woman, leaving those kids and not giving a fuck about them. You know what I'm saying? Unless, like I said, unless you just come from some type of background where the only thing you have to offer to the world is giving that woman a baby because you knew and examined your life from whatever point that was moving forward, that pretty much it won't be shit. And 14 years, which is the youngest child, that seems like it's about right because 14 years ago, you weren't really popping on YouTube like that. Or maybe you just started to get popping. But we know within you weren't really popping until the year that I really started to see Dr. Umar come on YouTube, I'm going to say about 10 years ago, about 2015. So 14 years ago, that's about right, 2010, because you weren't really on YouTube like that. So you probably didn't have your life figured out yet. You wasn't really getting no paper. And whoever you was messing with, that woman at the time, that was the best thing that you could offer that woman, was giving her a child, because at that point in time, you analyzed your life and knew that you pretty much, I guess you haven't figured out yet, or what your little finesse was going to be for you to start getting some money, was to give that chick a child. And you can't fool grown men like us because we know what it is. We all do the same thing. It's a point in time. It's a point in time and age that when we turn a certain age, we really start to think about our life and our future, and start to think about what we really gonna be doing and what we have to offer to this world, if we're getting money at that point in time or not. And you giving them women a baby, a kid, just for no reason, it goes to show that you didn't have your shit in order. You was broke. You won't get no money. Because there's no way in hell I can see me just giving random women a baby and just leaving them out there with them having the possibility of putting me on child support for the next 18 years and them taking half of my goddamn salary for the next 18 years. It's just not happening. Ain't no smart, intelligent man's going to make that type of decision, bruh, unless he's broke, fucked up in the game and said, fuck it. This is all I got to offer that woman. Let me go ahead and put a seed in her because I'm really that fucked up in the game. So let me do this so I can possibly keep a roof over my head or whatever. But let me let this finish out, Dr. Umar, because oh man, you can only preach this shit to them youngins, because people your age and older, we're not going for the dog. We know what time it is.
To the silly questions in the chat, because a lot of these questions were already answered in previous lives, so I'm not going to respond to you. Go watch my previous lives. Silly questions like, did you go to court for custody? That's a silly question. That's a silly question. Of course I went to court for custody.
That's not a silly question, and I'm going to call cap on that. The reason I'm calling cap on that is because you got 2 daughters Now, me, I got a daughter. I only got one child. I got a daughter from the woman that I married, in which we are now divorced. But the reason why I didn't go to court for custody is because she's a girl. I can't raise no girl to grow into a woman. Now, the dynamics of any child, whether it's a boy or a girl growing up in a single parent home, if it's raised by a father, we know they're going to do a lot better versus if it's going to be raised by a mother. But being that I know who I married and the type of woman that I married, classy, respectable, smart, intelligent, had a great career and everything like that, there was no reason for me to go to court to get full custody because she would be the better parent to raise my daughter simply because she's a woman. She's the best possibility to raise my daughter to grow into a full-grown, classy, respectable, intelligent woman. So I'm gonna call cap on that. Why would you want to go to court and get custody of your kid unless the chick that you had it with, that you knew she was some real down low, trifling, ain't piece of shit type of bitch? You know what I'm saying? That, if you really left your daughter in her care, that it would have been some, she would have been on a pole within the next, 16, 17, and everything like that. But we know that ain't happened. We know you ain't go to court because your actions tells us that you didn't go to court just by you impregnating the chick and not giving a fuck about the kids. Because like Didi said, if your daughters, when they came to YouTube and exposed you, we would have never heard about this, bruh. We would have never heard about this. It would have been Pan-Africanism and Hotep and yada, yada, yada until the wheels fall off. But now they on YouTube exposing you. You got to address this shit, which is making you look like a fool. You looking like a clown. Man, you can't run this game on niggas your age and older, bro. You only run this game on niggas that's younger than you.
But if you don't obey the custody order, custody don't mean nothing. If you don't obey the custody order, custody don't mean nothing. But I want to stay where I am right now. I want to stay where I am. I don't want the beta male brigade to distract me from what I'm saying, because I'm confessing my sins before the African woman. I'm confessing my sins before the throne of the divine African feminine. And the reason I can confess my sins at the throne of the divine African feminine is because I have such a great relationship with my mother, and I had great relationships with my grandmothers. You see, so I'm protected by divine feminine and divine masculine energy. See, if
you got great relationship with your mother and great relationship with your grandmother, how come you don't have great relationships with your baby mamas? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you would think that it would easily transpire over to that. Now, I'm not going to really knock you for that because we know how baby mamas and everything, we know how stuff can get over time, especially if y'all following yada, yada, yada. But that also goes to show the type of women that you picked and chose to have kids with. So what we talking about, player? What is we talking about? But man, go ahead, kick your bullshit.
Didn't have the relationship with my mother and my grandmothers that I had. Rest in peace to my grandmothers. I'll be calling my baby mamas all kind of bees, and I'm not, no crash out. No crash out. No crash out. Because of my great relationship with women and with my mother, and that I had with my two late grandmothers, that's why I don't crash out over this. I know black women can behave better. I know that. I'm just confessing that back then, before I became the prince, before the world would know my name, see, both of my babies were conceived before I blew up. That was divine design. That was divine design. And I'm going to say that was divine design for two reasons. I believe the universe brought me my children before I blew up for two reasons. I needed to learn the lesson of respect for the black woman's vagina before I became King Kong. Because if this would have happened after I blew up, see, these situations are pre Prince of Pan-Africanism. These situations are pre September 18th, 2010.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, okay, fine. But what about now? You're a different man now. So wouldn't those same
Hold up. I just did the math. You said pre 2010. We in 2025. You said 14 years ago. So that would put your baby at about a years old. 1 years old after you start coming on YouTube. All right. I mean, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. I mean, like I guess you was in your beginning stages of YouTube, so you really haven't, you didn't really blow up after a year off of this jumping on YouTube. But what I want to know is, bro, why you didn't marry any of your baby mamas? You got a 22-year-old child and you got a 14-year-old child. So your 22-year-old child, pretty much you had. That means you had that when you was what, the year 2003. I mean, look, what? And because the thing is, because the reason why it's fucked up is because the shit that you preaching now. You try to preach unity now, and you be coming down on the black man, and the black man need to do this and do that, and he need nigga. You shouldn't be, bro. I don't give a fuck, man. You need it. Why you ain't married none of your baby mamas? The first one, you ain't married the second one. Like, so, all right, forget the first one. We're gonna let that slide. But the second one, because you even just said that pre-2010. So that means you was already on YouTube a year when your second baby was born. So that's telling me that you already had that mindset, that Pan-African black woman is God, queen type shit mindset already during that period. So why you didn't marry your second baby mama? What's up? That's what I'm saying, man. Look. These Hotep niggas is some frauds, bro. Why you ain't marry your second baby mama, dog? Why did you leave for a baby mama? Man, look, these Hotep niggas is some frauds. And the sad thing is, black women are always going to support this dude because they're so desperate for validation and love during this ongoing gender war that they're just seeking any type of validation, especially from a black man, as long as he's not putting them down. We know this to be true from all of the black female panderers that we've seen come and go and been exposed, in which after they get exposed, the black females are still trying to, hold these dudes up in some type of high regard. And that's why he's still going to get support, because the black female today, the black American female today are so desperate for validation and love that they're going to support any and everybody that's, giving them warm, lovable, positive affirmations as long as it's making them feel good for the moment period in time. And it's really as simple as that. Let's finish this off.
Same beliefs and qualities that you have now would allow you to go and develop relationships with your kids. So everybody makes mistakes, right? So we all make mistakes. You learn from them and you do better. So what is the issue with now as it relates to building a relationship with your daughters now? If you didn't have the relationship with them then, and if they were kept from you the way you say, why not go and establish a relationship with them offline? You know what I'm saying? As older people, if people in their 40s, we understand that everything shouldn't be put on social media. At least you should. And it is not good for your mental health to put all of your personal business as it relates to your children on social media. And of course, the younger generation, this is their generation. This is what they do. Do you agree that Umar should be the one leading this situation, especially with his grown daughter, to go have that conversation? It's not about, at this point, these kids are older. It's not about the custody battle and who did what and all that, because they're older. So it really doesn't matter, because you can go and have a conversation with your daughters without anybody else involved, especially the ones that are grown. And I mean, it's almost as if he's trying to use that to justify the fact that he's not really in his children's lives. I don't know, but this is crazy. Once again, overall, this should have been held privately, not all over social media.
You say you don't know. I know. It's because he don't want to. He's grown. He's post 40. There's no excuse for it. There's no excuse. Even if he never had a strong bond, or if he didn't love any one of his baby mamas back then up until now, his kids are his kids, especially the grown one. And then you still got one that's not grown. She's 14, 15 years old. So the question is, she's right. The question is, Dr. Umar, why haven't you established any type of relationship with your kids, dog? And it's the only reason for that us men know what that is. It's only one reason for that is because you don't give a fuck about your kids, my nigga. Ain't no way around it. There's no way in hell there's no way in hell that me knowingly that I got kids out here in these streets that I know I've made kids and they're at certain ages, and I'm not going to establish any type of connection, any type of connection with my kids to let them know that I'm here for you. I'm your dad, regardless of what happened between me and your mom. That it don't have anything to do between me and you. I'm your father. So if you have any problems, you want to talk about anything, I'm here for you. You can call me anytime of the day, and we can talk about anything. And I'm here for you, mentally, physically, financially, whatever the thought. He doesn't care about his kids, y'all. I mean, it's really simple as that. It's simple as that. It's crazy because, I mean, the 22-year-old had already exposed it, that he's never reached out to her. She had to go search for this nigga. You never reached out to your kid. She got in contact with her other sibling, which is your other child, who is 15 years old. And they established that you didn't reach out, that you don't have any connection or any history with any of your kids, bro. Not one. So that's what I'm saying. I don't care how long ago was that. We're talking about now. You self-proclaimed Prince and King Kong, yada, 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 yada. Man, you can't be up on YouTube trying to give people advice and leading a so-called younger Black generation in regards to Black love and Pan-Africanism and Black unity and everything. If you don't have any type of connection or establish any type of history with your own flesh and blood, bro. This is sad, bro, because it's sad because it's like you are the epitome of what back in the 90s when we used to see them comedian clips about, them Pan-African dudes and them Hotep intelligent dudes, like y'all used to get joked on. Y'all used to say all these intelligent, beautiful words and affirmations to the point where y'all be talking to circles and y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talk about to them, where it makes y'all look stupid. Y'all remember back in the day, those in Living Color clips and those in Living Color skits that Damon Wayans used to do. We used to play like one of those, intelligent Hotep dudes who was just either in jail or just came home from jail. He's trying to use all these big words and shit to make him seem like he's very smart and very, in tune with the African culture and Pan-Africanism and everything like that. And then it pretty much as the further or the more he continued to talk, the more stupid he started to sound. That's Dr. Umar Johnson, bro. That is Dr. Umar Johnson. It's just very sad that you got kids out here, my nigga, but yet you don't take care of them. You don't have any type of connection with them, any type of established history with them, and they had to come up on YouTube to expose your ass because you are a fraud. You are saying one thing, and you're saying one thing to the public, but your life is a totally whole nother different subject, my nigga. It's only a couple minutes. Let me finish this shit out because I ain't watching.
Let's listen to a little bit more of what he's saying, you guys, and then we're gonna wrap this up. Here we go.
So the universe needed me to experience this before I came to the world, because if I would have made those mistakes in front of the world, I would have had to vacate my throne. Nigga, I would have had to get off the throne. So the universe knew that he got some spiritual growth that he needs to get done. So we're going to give him these babies before he blow up, and we're going to let him suffer the pain of his bad decisions. We're going to let him suffer the pain of his bad decisions before we put him out before the world. So both princesses of Pan-Africanism were conceived before the ancestors put me before the world because I wasn't ready yet. Could you imagine if this would have happened after I blew up? It would be holy hell. So my daughters were conceived before I blew up.
Yeah, all right. We're going to give you, like I said, we're going to give you grace on the first one. The second one, it was conceived after, maybe before you blew up, but it was still conceived after you came on YouTube. And like I said, being that you came on YouTube 2010, 2011, and your second child was already born, you were already in the mindset of what you're pretty much kicking today. So, I mean, it ain't adding up, and you a fraud. The sad thing is, black women gonna eat this up. It don't matter what he say. Black women gonna eat this up because they're so desperate for love and validation. They gonna give him a pass, and he can still go on today and have kids with lots of other black women because, again, they're so desperate for love and validation. They gonna give this nigga a pass, and there will be lots of more black women who will be willing to give this nigga a baby. I mean, if y'all been following me for a long time, y'all know I've been saying black women, they dying to get pregnant anyway. I've been saying that a lot. Like every other video, y'all have heard me say that. Black women are dying to get pregnant. That's why all this manosphere, red pill shit, like I don't understand how you niggas having a problem getting no pussy because black women are dying to get pregnant from the ages of 18 to 35, depending on how many kids they got, especially if they got none, they dying to get pregnant. That's a black man getting some pussy, that shouldn't even be an issue. That should be standard. Standard. Like I had to treat my nut like it was 14 karat gold wrapped up in diamonds because these hoes is dying to get pregnant. But this nigga's a fraud, bro. And it's sickening me that it don't matter what he say, that black women gonna eat this shit up because they're so desperate for validation, especially that we got this ongoing gender war going on. They're so desperate for validation, they're gonna eat this shit up. I mean, which they have been eating up. Y'all seen the clip when he was at, what was he, Howard University or Georgetown? I think it was Howard University, where he came out and he was like, I forgot, what was he saying? Something about anti-snow bunnies, something like that. And then the crowd just went wild. Crowd of black women just went wild, erupted and cheered and roaring, throwing their fists up and clapping for him, even after he was exposed of his kids coming here, exposing him of being a deadbeat father. So they gonna eat this shit up, bro. This ain't gonna hurt. This ain't gonna hurt Dr. Umar. I just had to come in here and throw my 2 cents on because it's like, nigga, you can't preach this shit to us, bro. We know what it is, nigga. Like I said, there's no man in his right mind who's got his shit together and has got something going on for his life who's just gonna recklessly nut in the chick, make babies, and risk the possibility of this chick putting you on child support and taking half your salary for the next 18 years. It just don't happen. It don't happen. You got to be a broke ass nigga or a nigga who don't come from shit for you not to give a fuck where you lay your seed at and have kids with all types of ratchet ass bitches and not give a fuck about how that shit's gonna go for the next 18 years. In which he kind of pretty much said it himself. This is pre King Kong or Prince of whatever the fuck. You won't get no paper when you made these babies. You examined your life at that point in time, and I guess before you thought of or crafted what your finesse was going to be to get this money, you kind of said, "This man, shit, I ain't shit. It's not like I'm getting money. I ain't never gonna be shit. Let me go ahead and make these babies because that's the only thing I really have to offer to the world." Me, pretty much that the way I grew up, I never thought that because it's like, well, being that I came from a 2-parent household, and I was always told since I was like 8, 9, 10 years old that I'm going to college and that I'm going to make something of myself. I couldn't make those decisions because I knew that I was going to be going on to college, get a nice career, working, making some good money. So I'm not going to just recklessly make babies and risk a chick, put me on child support and take half of what I make for the next 18 years, my nigga. Only broke niggas do that shit. Man, look, like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.